Today I thought it would be kind of nice since the seasons are changing and the weather is changing and our bodies start to kind of change with that cold weather, if we could cultivate some heat in our practice today. And so I'm going to incorporate a little bit more movement and a little bit more of a flow. So hopefully you'll work up some sweat, a little bit of heat, some tapas, discipline inside of your body. And then we'll also connect a little bit to your breath. I did want to mention, it's always a good idea to have a block nearby, or a book, or a pillow, something to offer a little bit of support or to bring the ground a little bit closer to you in certain postures. So I will be guiding with the option to use a block in some poses. So just have one nearby in your space. We'll get started in a comfortable seat and choose whatever seated position feels good, and choose something that you can sit in for a moment with little tension. I offer cross-legged position. If this doesn't feel good, there's always the option to place a block underneath your hips and to lift your tailbone a little bit higher so that you're not gripping into your hip creases here. And wherever that is, just intentionally place your hands somewhere on your body, your legs, your heart, wherever that is, and then close your eyes. And just take a moment to take inventory. What feels good in your body right now? What feels tight? What maybe needs a little bit more breath and a little bit more just love and acknowledgement. And as you start to notice those places, or maybe you don't notice any places at all, but you just start to take mindful inventory of what's going on in each part, each section of your body. And then take your awareness to your breath. Empty out your lungs. And we'll take one collective inhale, fill up. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. One more like that, inhale, fill up. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. One more like that. Imagine your belly fills your ribs, your chest. Hold at the top. And then exhale through your nose. Think of your chest, your ribs, your belly. One more like that. Go belly, ribs, chest. Seal your lips. Exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Kind of on your own, just continue to breathe like that. Lips are sealed. And as you exhale, see if you can create some texture in the back of your throat. And this might create an audible exhale, sort of a light oceanic sound. It doesn't have to be forced. And as you start to access this Ujjayi breath, notice the heat you start to cultivate in your throat, maybe in your face. We use this breath in our vinyasa practice to help center us, to help warm us up from the inside out, and also to bring us back. So if at any moment you notice during this practice that your mind has wandered, return to this Ujjayi pranayama, this oceanic breath, this rhythmic, consistent breathing that you've cultivated. With that, take another big inhale, fill all the way up. Exhale through your nose. Option option to blink your eyes open here. Just drop your chin towards your chest, take an inhale. And then exhale, roll your ear over towards your right shoulder. Create some length on the left side of your neck. Inhale, center your chin towards your chest. And then exhale, return your chin towards your right shoulder. One more inhale, center your chin towards your chest. Exhale, bring your ear towards your nose, turn your face up towards the ceiling. And then to the left, drop your chin towards your chest, inhale. Exhale, roll your ear over to your left shoulder, create length on the right side of your neck. Inhale, drop your chin towards your chest. Exhale, roll your ear over towards the left. One more like that. Inhale, drop your chin. Exhale, roll your ear over to your shoulder. Maybe you gaze up at the ceiling. And then center your neck. Mindfully lengthen up through the back of your spine. Think of someone grabbing you by the nape of your neck and just pulling your head straight up towards the ceiling. Create length in the back of your spine. And then on your next exhale, make your way to a tabletop position. And just take a moment, plant your palms underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. And whatever wiggles come naturally, take those for a moment. Maybe you have some adjustments, some cracking happening in your spine. It's all good. Take a moment to let that happen, and then as you come to stillness, start to draw your belly button up and in, close down through the fronts of your ribs, and then press your palms down and back into your mat. So we're already starting to activate our core here. Our spine is nice and long. My tailbone is pointing towards the back of my mat, the crown of my head pointing towards the front. Take a big inhale. Exhale, squeeze even deeper and activate that core. Inhale, drop your belly, open your chest forward, cow pose. Pause and breathe for a moment. Just feel the slope of your spine naturally start to curve. Inhale here. Exhale, puff the back of your spine up towards the ceiling, cat pose. Gaze back at your thighs, pull your belly button up and in, and maybe you feel your inner thighs magnetizing together. Inhale, cow pose, drop your belly, shine your heart forward. Exhale, cat pose, press down into your fingertips, puff up your spine. Inhale, cow pose, drop your belly, press your palms down, small micro bend into your elbows. Exhale, cat pose, press the floor away, the tops of my shins pressing down into the mat. Neutralize your spine on your next inhale, and then take a couple wiggles from side to side. Just wag your tail, drop your hips towards the right and towards the left. Whatever sensations start to happen in your hips, notice them. And then on your next inhale, bring your right fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. Open up your chest towards the right side of your mat. Pause and breathe for a moment. Squeeze your belly button into your spine. Take a big inhale. Exhale, thread the needle and come to just a little hover over your mat. So you're twisting in the opposite direction now. My palm is planted firmly into the mat. Inhale, reverse that action, lift your fingertips all the way up towards the sky, activate your belly. Exhale, thread the needle, just come into a hover, gaze towards the left side of your mat. Continue to press down evenly in both of your shins. One more inhale, shine your heart all the way to the right side of your mat. And then exhale, thread the needle. This time, drop your shoulder all the way down onto the mat. Rest your right cheek down.
And then again, center your hips so that both shins are pressing evenly into the mat. And this twist is happening from your center, from your belly button. Option 2, extend your arm forward if this feels good. And you'll just start to open up through the outside of your right shoulder. Give yourself a gentle twist here to start your class. Keep that Ujjayi breath going. One more inhale. Exhale, plant this palm down, reverse that action. Inhale, come all the way up, right fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, drop your palm down. Let's take one round of cat-cow. Inhale, cow pose. Arching your spine, opening up through your chest. Exhale, cat pose, puffing up. Inhale, neutralize your spine. Lift your left fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Pause and breathe for a moment. Find that twisting sensation to the opposite direction this time, belly button pulling up and in. And then exhale, thread the needle, come to a hover, gaze towards the right side of your mat. Again, noticing if we're shifting from one way to the other in our knees. Inhale, lift all the way up. Twist open towards the left side of our mat. Exhale, thread the needle, come to a hover, belly button pulling up and in, pressing down in my right palm this time. Inhale, lifting all the way up, open twist. Exhale, thread the needle, this time dropping our shoulder all the way down onto the mat. Come to rest your left cheek down. And then if this feels good to you, extending your right fingertips forward in space. My belly button is pulling up and away from my thighs. And I'm thinking of making this twist happen from my midline, my core. Continue to open up through this right shoulder. Drop your left rib cage down and under. One more big inhale. Exhale, plant your right palm down. Shine your heart all the way up and open, the little counter twist here. And then exhale, plant your palms. Inhale, tuck your toes under. Find that cat spine again. Your cow spine rather. And then exhale, come to a hovering cat. So bring your knees just 1 inch off the mat. Belly button is pulling up and in. I'm rounding all the way through my spine. Inhale, drop your knees down. Cow pose. Come all the way to the end of your inhale. And then on your exhale, pressing your palms down, hovering your knees 1 inch above the mat. One more time like this. Inhale, cow pose. Come all the way to the end of your inhale. And then exhale, let it go, hovering cat pose. One more inhale to stay. Belly button pulls up and in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your pelvis high towards the sky. Heels reaching down towards the mat. Option to walk your fingertips forward or backwards and just kind of settle into this downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Shavasana. And as you press down into your fingertips, just start to open up through the front of your shoulders into your armpits. And then think of closing your ribs down in the front, so your belly is really active in this position. And then inhale, gaze over towards the right. And then exhale, gaze over to the left, just peering under your armpits. One more time like that. Inhale, gaze over to the right. Exhale, gazing over towards the left. Walk your fingertips a little bit forward. We'll take a ripple through our spine. Inhale, shifting forward onto our fingertips, tucking our pelvis underneath, rounding through our mid-back, through our upper back. Arrive in a high plank position. Pause and breathe. So press down through your palms. Fingertips are pointing straight forward. My shoulders are stacked directly over my wrists. Micro bend through your elbows and then squeeze your legs towards one another without actually touching. So you're super active through your midline here, belly button pulling up and away from the ground. One more inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, send your tailbone up towards the sky. Think of creating a cow spine here, so arching your back as you send your heels down towards your mat and arrive in your downward facing dog. Inhale, shifting forward, rounding through your spine. One long ripple to arrive in your high plank. On the end of your inhale, exhale right away. Cow your spine, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more inhale, shifting forward, high plank position. Exhale, sending your tailbone up and back, bending your knees, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, tiny little steps. Bring yourself to ragdoll position, Uttanasana. Plant your palms behind your wrist, generous bend through your knees here. This is a great place for a block. So if you need the ground to come a little bit closer to you, the object of this position is to create a draping sensation of your spine over your thighs. So we're creating kind of a decompression in your lower back here. So a generous bend through your knees or a block are a great option to make this position a little bit more accessible. Reconnect with your Ujjayi breath here. Option 2, grab your opposite elbow. And then if this feels good, option to sway side to side and see what kind of sensations are created in your lower back. Plant your palms down, toe heel your feet to touch. And then on your next inhale, rise all the way up, one vertebrae at a time, squeezing your inner thighs together as you arrive. Inhale, mountain pose Tadasana, press down through the soles of your feet, bring your palms up and overhead. Spiral your pinky fingers towards one another, and then think of deepening the space in your armpits. Dropping your shoulders away from your ears. Pelvic floor is lifted all the way up. Inhale here. Exhale, Samastitihi. Drop your palms to heart center. Flutter your eyes closed if that feels good, or soften your gaze. And just remind yourself of your intention for this class. I offer the simple intention of just connecting with your breath. Your pranayama, something that our body does naturally without us having to think much about it. But what's so special about our breath is that we can actually consciously change how we're breathing. We can create long exhales. We can breathe through our nose and through our mouths. So today, focus on different variations of breath and then notice what changes in your body in those different variations. Seal your lips, inhale, mountain pose, reach your arms up and overhead, flutter your eyes open. Exhale, baby back bend, goalpost your arms, so send your elbows towards each side of your room, open up your chest, gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale, rising all the way up, mountain pose Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, bringing your hands through heart center, easy descent down. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring the palms to shins or your thighs, whichever feels good here. Pressing your palms into whatever part of your leg you chose, and then sending the crown of your head forward. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, one more halfway lift. Press your palms into your shins or your thighs. Create one long line in your spine. Exhale, low lunge, step your left foot back in space. This is our first hip opener of our practice. So just kind of take a moment, any little wiggles, some rocks, maybe you need to work into this back ankle a little bit. And then eventually come to stillness, making sure that your front knee is stacked over your ankle, your heel is pressing down into the mat.
Option to come up onto little spider tip fingers, and then think of your chest shooting forward in space. One more big inhale. Exhale, plant your palms down. Step your right foot back to meet your left, high plank pose. Inhale, drop your knees down, shift forward slightly into your fingers. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down, hug your elbows into your ribs. Inhale, we'll take cobra pose, send your nose long and forward, lift your upper back up and off the mat. Squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you, belly button pulling up and away. Inhale. Exhale, lower down, forehead to mat. Inhale, one more like that, cobra pose. Lift your upper back up and away from the mat, squeezing your whole back line. Option to hover your hands. Inhale to stay. Exhale, lower down. Last time, inhale, lifting your upper back up and off the mat. Option to hover your hands, pressing your pubic bone down into the mat. Option to hover your legs this time. Squeezing your legs together. Inhale. Exhale, lower everything down into the mat. Bring the palms of your hands underneath your shoulders. In one action, push up to your high plank position. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your tailbone up and back. Big breath in to reset. Open mouth, exhale. Maybe release some heat this time. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, take tiny little steps. Come with your big toes to touch, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, one long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, rise all the way up. Exhale, baby back bend, cactus, your arms open, squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you. Inhale, mountain pose, reset. Exhale, forward fold, hand through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Send your right leg back in space, this time low lunge. And again, any sort of rocks, wiggles, movements that you need here to get yourself situated. And then notice which side feels tighter, which side feels longer. Just breathe into that. Send your Ujjayi exhale towards those places of tension and notice what changes. Option to come up onto your spider tip fingers, sending your chest forward in space. Inhale. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to high plank. Inhale, drop your knees down, shift forward. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down. Think chest arrives before your chin. Inhale, one more cobra pose. Option to hover your legs right away this time. Exhale, relaxing down. Inhale, press all the way up. High plank pose, one action. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll flow through that one time with a few additions, so just keep your ears open. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, travel, step, float, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, one long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, rise up. Exhale, baby back bend, open your chest. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, open twist towards the right side of your mat. Drop your fingertips down and back. Gaze towards the back of your space, and then scoot that right hip towards the front of your room. So we're really twisting through our upper body here. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, open twist to the left. My left hip stays forward as I drop my left fingertips down and back in space. Gaze back towards my back palm. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, slow descend down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge, left foot steps back. Inhale, high plank pose. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low plank.
Just drop your body halfway down. Keep your elbows stacked over your wrists. Inhale, upward facing dog. Flip to the shoelace sides of your feet. Press down through your palms. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step, hopper, float, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. Exhale, baby back bend. Open your chest. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, open twist to the right, keeping your pelvis exactly where it is. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, open twist to the left. Belly button pulling up and in. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Slow descent. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, low lunge. Inhale, stepping back, high plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, or option to take that cobra pose one more time. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, make your way back, downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Big inhale to reset. Exhale, let something go. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forward into your palms. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step all the way through, find your low lunge. Inhale, drop your back knee down, crescent moon. Lift your fingertips all the way up and overhead. And we've already created some length in the front of our left hip. So take a moment now to ground down in your front heel and focus more on the power of this position than the stretch. Pull your belly button up and in. See if you can activate your pelvic floor, and then scissor your right hip back in line with your left hip. Engage that left glute, and then see if your inner thighs start to do some work here. Inhale to stay. Exhale, baby back bend. Find that cactus in your arms one more time. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, baby back bend one more time. Squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, half splits. You're going to send your tailbone back in space. Option to untuck your back toes and then flex your right toes towards your face. This is a great time to grab your block, bring the ground a little bit closer to you. Or you can just spider tip your fingers. Wherever you are, think of creating one long spine. The crown of your head is shooting forward. My chest is opening up. I'm almost thinking of a cow pose here. My tailbone is moving towards the back of my space. And then my right hip is scissoring back in line with my left. One more inhale. Exhale, shift forward, return to that crescent moon, lifting your arms up and overhead. We'll just flow a few times, half splits, inhale. And then exhale, shifting forward, half moon, bring your arms up and overhead. Inhale, half splits, one more time. Exhale, shift forward, crescent moon. Plant your palms down, tuck your back toes, inhale, low lunge twist, open your right fingertips up and towards the sky. Exhale, modified side plank. Drop your back knee down, parallel your shin with the short edge of the mat, and then bring your front toes all the way towards the back of your space. Continue to create this openness in your chest. So one long line from your bottom palm to your top fingertips. And then thinking of pressing the floor away, lifting your waist up and against gravity, so your obliques are really working here. In one action, drop your palm down towards your thigh, and then shift your weight into your knee, press down, lift all the way up, away from your right fingertips, gate pose. An option to take a little side stretch towards that back leg, and then gaze up at your fingertips here. Belly button is nice and strong. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands forward. Find a high plank position. Exhale, flow your chaturanga, option to skip it. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra position. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Inhale, lift your left heel high towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forward, round. Inhale, heel up towards the sky, create length. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Inhale, lift your left leg high, down dog kick. Exhale, step through, low lunge. Inhale, drop that back knee down, crescent moon. Lift your fingertips all the way up and overhead. And then again, create some power here. So press down through your front heel. Realign your pelvis, and then see if you can activate your inner thighs in this position. Imagine you're squeezing a block between your legs, and then lift your belly button up and away from this front thigh. Inhale to stay. Exhale, baby back bend. Squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Open up your chest towards the ceiling. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, baby back bend. Open up your chest. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, baby back bend. Last time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, half splits. Untuck your back toes. Shift your pelvis back in space. Flex your left toes towards your face this time. Again, noticing from one side to the other what feels tight. Where do you need to send a little bit more breath? Can you return to that Ujjayi Pranayama that we cultivated earlier in this practice? Shine your chest towards your front toes. Inhale to stay. Exhale, shifting forward, find that crescent moon one more time, lifting your palms up and overhead. Inhale, shifting back, half splits. Exhale, shifting forward, crescent moon. Couple more like that. Inhale, fill all the way up, half splits. Exhale, shifting forward. Think of long, continuous, constant breathing here. Last time, inhale, half splits. Exhale, crescent moon. Drop your left fingertips down, untuck your back toes, low lunge twist, open up towards the left side of your mat. Breathing in, and then exhale, we'll find our modified side plank on the other side. So paralleling your back shin towards the short edge of your mat, and then sending your front toe towards the back of your space. Again, we're creating some tension away from the floor here in our oblique muscles. So think of lifting your top rib cage up and away, almost like you could hover your bottom hand. And then press down into your knee. Drop your top hand down towards your thigh. Inhale, in one action, lift up and away. Gate pose. And then if you took a side stretch on that other side, do so here. If it feels good in your neck, gaze up at your top fingertips. One more big inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands towards the top of your mat. Find that high plank position, inhale. Exhale, flow through your vinyasa, whatever that looks like for you today. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll flow through that breath to movement one time. And I want us to focus on the lengths of our inhales and our exhales. So as we reach that very end of our inhale where we can't sip in any more air, we start that next movement into our exhale. So we really are just flowing. We're gonna really start to get our heart rate up here. Inhale, lift your right heel up towards the sky. Exhale, full breath out, knee to nose. Inhale, left or right heel up to the sky. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, baby back bend in our arms. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, half split, sending our tailbone back. Inhale, crescent moon, right away. Low lunge twist, opening up our right fingertips towards the sky. Yeah, exhale, find that modified side plank. Stay on your inhale. And then exhale, find that gate pose. Lift your body all the way up, side bend. Inhale to stay. Exhale, cartwheel your hands forward. Inhale, find your high plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, flowing your variation. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left heel high towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, rounding forward. Inhale, heel to the sky. Exhale, low lunge, drop your back knee down. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, baby back bend, cactus, your arms open. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, half splits, flexing your front toes towards your face. Inhale, crescent moon, right away, find that low lunge twist. Open your left fingertips towards the sky, stay on your inhale. Exhale, modified side plank, front toes go towards the back of your space. Inhale to stay. Exhale, gate pose, side body stretch all the way up and back. Really turn on your obliques here. Stay on your inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands forward. Inhale, high plank pose. Exhale, flow your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or skip it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward towards your fingertips. Exhale, drop your knees down, child's pose. So option here to widen your knees towards the long edges of your mat or to keep your knees pressing together. Whatever feels good for you. Just notice your elevated heart rate here. Notice the space you're creating in your lower spine. And then notice your breath one more time. See if you can return to those long inhales and even longer exhales. Inhale, shift forward onto your tabletop. Exhale, tuck your back toes. You're gonna hover your tabletop here, beast pose. And then you're going to shift your tailbone back in space, hovering child's pose. Option to turn your knees out ever so slightly. Inhale, shift forward, beast pose. Exhale, hovering child's pose. Press the mat away from you. Inhale, hovering tabletop beast pose. Exhale, hovering child's pose. And just a couple more like this. Breath to movement. So really pay attention to the length of your inhales, the length of your exhales, and match the movements going forward and back. You'll start to create some heat in your stomach, some tapas in your legs. Let's take one more round. Inhale. Exhale. Finish out your set and then make your way back. Downward facing dog, home base. Inhale, lift your right heel up towards the sky. Exhale, step through low lunge. Inhale, come up onto these spider tip fingers we've been accessing. And then see if you can start to press so far down into your front heel that these front fingertips start to hover. On your next inhale, rise all the way up, crescent lunge. Press down through that front heel, and then think of lengthening your back leg up towards the sky so that hamstring starts to open up. Again, check in with your pelvis here. Notice if your hips are even. Notice if your left hip is dropped down farther than your right, and then use your oblique to lift it up in space. Inhale, bring your belly button even closer to your spine. Exhale, just one time, baby back bend, cactus, open your arms. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, warrior two. You're gonna spiral your back heel down, parallel that knife edge of your foot with the back edge of your mat. And then keeping a generous bend in your front knee, shift forward into your warrior two. Continue to squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Inhale, reverse triangle. So stretch all the way up through your front knee, and then side body stretch up and back. Gaze up at your top arm. Inhale. Exhale, full triangle pose. You may need to shorten your stance ever so slightly. Tick-tock your arms to north and south. Shift your hips back in space. And then intentionally rest your hand somewhere either on your leg. This is a great time for you to grab a block. You can use the tall side of it to make this more accessible, to bring the ground closer to you. And then like we accessed in our side plank, see if we can lift our rib cage up and against gravity away from the floor. One more big inhale. Exhale, bring this top arm forward and down in space. Parallel your feet towards one another, and then come to a wide-legged forward fold. Again, option for your block to be underneath your fingers. This is more about your low back decompressing than it is about making your shape look any particular way. Bend generously through your knees. Shift your weight forward into your toes. And just let your head hang heavy here. On your next inhale, walk your fingertips out. Create one long line in your spine, like a halfway lift. And then plant your palms right underneath your shoulders. We're gonna take just a few calf raises here, activate in our inner thighs. So inhale, rise all the way up, arm to the ball mounds of your feet. Imagine that you're squeezing something in between your inner thighs. Inhale, exhale, drop your heels down. Two more times. Inhale, lift your heels all the way up. Squeeze that imaginary block between your thighs. Exhale, drop your heels down. Last time, inhale, lift your heels all the way up. Exhale, drop them down. Mindfully walk your palms towards the front of your space. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, flow your chaturanga. Step your front heel back to meet your back heel. And then shift forward, or skip it. Inhale, upward facing dog if you're taking it. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take all of that to the left side. Inhale, lift your left heel up, rather. Exhale, step through, low lunge. And then again, start to power down through that front heel, spider tip your fingers. Take little to no weight into your fingers, and then gradually see if you can press so far down in your front leg, and then pushing down into the back ball of your foot that your hands come to a little hover. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise all the way up. Really come onto the tiptoes of your back foot, and then focus on your front heel pressing down into the mat. Neutralize these hips. So lift your right hip up in line with your left using your oblique muscle. Inhale. Exhale, one time, baby back bend, cactus, your arms open, shine your heart up. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two, spiral that back heel down. Shift forward in your lunge, and then see if you can open your arms so far that your shoulder blades start to squeeze together behind you. Inhale, stretch through that front knee, reverse triangle, side body stretch up and back. And then exhale, full triangle, shorten your stance if you did on the other side. Sass your hips back in space, tick-tock your arms north and south. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Whatever variation you took on the other side. So if you grab that block for underneath your palm, do so on this side. And then again, thinking of our bottom ribs, our leftwards this time, fighting against gravity, lifting up and away. So this is a super active pose for our oblique muscles, super active for our inner thighs as well. Inhale, get longer. Exhale, drop this top arm down and forward. Parallel your feet with the short edges of your mat. We'll take a short, wide-legged forward fold here. Just hang heavy. Option to close your eyes. Just return to your breath. Start to decompress a little bit. Relax your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Make your face just full of ease here. So we're not holding unnecessary tension in the places we don't need to be. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your fingertips forward. Find your low lunge. Inhale, step your front foot back to your high plank. Exhale, drop your knees down. This time, keep your thighs together to touch and just shift your hips back. Child's pose. And just take a moment, reconnect with your breath. And whether or not you were able to complete your intention for this practice, acknowledge that you showed up and that what you put into this practice is what you're going to get out of it. The sweet thing about yoga is that it doesn't have to be all work, all power, all the time. But there's so much ease, even in the challenges. So if we didn't make it into certain positions today, or if they felt hard, or if we lost our breath for a moment, then there's always that opportunity in the next one, or in every single moment, to find that ease, return to our breath. We start to teach ourselves that no matter what challenges we face, what crazy positions we try and put our body into, that we make it through, and that our breath will continue to support us. Maybe that's something we can carry with us off of our mat into the rest of our lives. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, grab onto that block, or that pillow, or that book. And then place it underneath your hips here. You're gonna think of keeping your inner thighs and your knees together, and you'll sit your hips back onto your hips. So my heels are wide, my knees are together. If this doesn't feel good on your knees, option to skip it. Option to lie down on your back and just knock your knees together with your feet wide. We'll take hero's pose though. Belly button pulling up and in, and already just start to notice the sensations in your hips.
what this does is create a tourniquet effect in your knees and in your hips a little bit. Kind of restricts blood flow to these areas so that when we release, we get this nourishing rush into our joints. If this feels good, option to walk your hands back in space. Maybe you'll feel a little bit of an opening in the fronts of your thighs and the fronts of your hips. And if that feels good, come down onto your elbows. Maybe you drop your face towards the back. Just find total stillness, total relaxation for a couple breaths. Whatever variation you took, slowly start to make your way back up to that neutral seat. And then shift your weight forward, find a tabletop position. And then one at a time, just start to extend one foot and then the other towards the back of your mat. And just feel that nourishing rush of blood, of oxygen back into your knee joints. And then slowly drop down onto your back, whatever way feels best to get there. And then hug your knees into your chest when you arrive. I like to take a couple little circles with my knees. You can either circle them together or you can circle them individually, but it's like a natural massage for your low spine. And on your next inhale, bring your right knee to your chest. And then take this right knee and bring it out and around your right rib cage. And create a lot of constriction into your right hip socket. Inhale here. Exhale, guide this knee across your body. Find a supine twist towards the right. The object here is to keep both shoulders grounded. So the twist is happening from your belly, from your pelvis. This feels good. You can gaze over towards the right. Complete that twist. Send oxygen to your right ribs here. See if you can stay attached to this breath for just a few moments longer. Inhale, guide your knee back across your body. And then reset, bring your left knee to your chest this time, and then drop it around your left ribs. Create some constriction in that hip socket. Inhale to stay. Exhale, drop your knee across your chest, supine twist to the left. Tee out your arms, ground down through that left shoulder. And send some breath to your left pelvis, your left ribs. Option to gaze towards your left fingertips. You can close your eyes if that feels good. And just let gravity create this twist in your spine. Create space between every single vertebrae. Inhale, bring your knee back across your chest. Happy baby pose to end our practice. Just grab onto the soles of your feet if that isn't accessible. Shins is always an option, back of your thighs. The only rule in happy baby pose is that your tailbone stays grounded, so your whole spine is lengthened along your mat. And then just play around. Find some little wiggles, some little dances here.
Figure out which motion or which pose here, which modification feels most accessible. And then just allow gravity to pull your knees out and then down towards the earth. Big full breaths into your hip sockets. One last inhale. Exhale. Bring your knees into your chest. And then send the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Bring your heels directly over your hips. Flex your toes towards your face. And for our last little pose, just feel the blood from your feet, from all the standing postures we did. Feel that reversing back down into your hips, back towards your heart. And then simultaneously send your breath up towards your feet. Bring your knees back towards your chest. Give yourself one more big hug. You can curl your shoulders, your neck, your head up and off the mat. Create one tiny little ball. Squeeze every little muscle inside you. Inhale. Exhale. Shavasana, our final resting pose. Find a position of total comfort here. So spiral your toes out. Maybe you widen your legs, open your palms up towards the ceiling, and then tuck your shoulder blades behind your ribs so that your chest is the highest point on your body. Allow your belly to relax. Allow your breath to soften. Flutter your eyes closed, and I'll guide you out in a moment. Start to bring your awareness to your breath. As you come back into your body, just notice the heaviness of the backside of your spine, backside of your arms, your pelvis, your legs, your heels. And as these parts of your body feel really heavy and grounded into your mat, start to notice the front line of your body, the parts of your being that feel light, that are supported up and away. Your chest, your face, your belly, the fronts of your legs, your palms.
just exist for a moment with this feeling of opposition. Your back line can be grounded and your front line can be lifted and supported. On your next inhale, bring your arms all the way up and overhead. I like to flutter my eyes open in Shavasana sometimes and just, without moving my eyes really, just feel the space around me. Feel how small you are in a room that contains so much space. And then let your eyes closed again. Roll over to your favorite side, fetal position. Keep that heavy feeling. And then make your way slowly up to a seated position. Maybe you find the same seated position you did at the start of class. And just notice the difference. Once again, take inventory. We'll take one final collective breath together. Inhale, fill up belly, chest, ribs. Pause at the top. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Bring your hands to heart center. The light, the love in me, the student, the teacher, honors the light, the love, the student and teacher in each and every one of us. We raise our hands to our third eye center. Bow forward to seal our practice. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you got a little bit of a sweat worked up. I know I did. And I just feel a little bit more open in my chest and also in my lower back. So hopefully you were able to access those things. And just let me know if you have any questions or comments, concerns. And I'll see you again.